What is good, YouTube? It is your boy Turbo J. We're back with a whole new segment. Today we're going to be talking about the top 6 cars you can get for $6,000. A very good car to start out with. A 1996 Dodge Stratus RT. Dodge Stealth RT all-wheel drive twin turbo. It has all-wheel drive and it's based on the Mitsubishi 3000 GT VR4 back when Mitsubishi and Chrysler, basically Diamond Star and Pentastar, were, combining forces to make these vehicles. Not even just that, like the Eclipse, everything that was coming out during that time was just amazing. This car had 4-wheel steering. Okay, if you got the 3000 GT, you got the same thing, but you get 4-wheel steering, all-wheel drive, a V6 with a twin turbo. And you can always opt out and just get the regular, Dodge RT without the twin turbos, but you want this one. This one can get to 60. It can scoot to 60 in under 5 seconds. Basically, it's just like a fast sleigh. It's like it just skates, okay? And you can merge on the highway, do whatever you need to do. As far as like specs go, it gets about 16 city, 22 highway. It's a V6 twin turbo. It's not exactly a gas guzzler. It's not a big gas guzzling V8, but it doesn't get like the highway mileage of a V8. But it produced anywhere from 300 to 320 horsepower and 315 foot-pounds of torque to all wheels. This would be a great car for anybody's starter, their winter beater, something that they want to, really get down and dirty with. This is what you start out with. It's a great car, and you can find them under $6 grand, mainly because they're ugly. Let's just be honest, they're just really ugly, and not a lot of people are interested in them. Up next, we got here a 2006 Lincoln LS V8, and I don't mean LS as in, Chevy LS, or Corvette or Camaro LS. No, it's just called the LS. I don't know if LS stands for Lincoln Sport or something, but don't get it twisted. It's not an LS, it's not a V8, it's not an LS 1, 2, 3, or X or 7. It's just an LS V8. Nothing to do with Chevy. It's just the name of the vehicle. I don't really know much about this car, but my friend Chase, his mom had one, and it was pretty fast. I mean, it wasn't too fast, but it was pretty fast, and it looked very good. And it's a 4-door luxury car, so you're going to be turning a little bit of heads with it, especially for the price. It's a low displacement V8, so it's more or less easier to insure than other V8s in that kind of category. But here's the best part about it. After diving deep and learning about this car, I learned that it has 50-50 weight distribution. I mean, the same type of 50-50 that you would get in a Miata. 50-50 you get in a S2K. You got a car on a Jaguar suspension. I think this is probably when, Ford owned Jaguar, so it wouldn't be surprising, but it's still on a Jaguar suspension, and you don't mess with Jag. But it gets 16 miles per gallon and 22 miles per gallon on the highway. It does alright on gas, I would say. But most importantly, it's a 3.9 liter V8, and it makes 280 horsepower and 284 foot-pounds of torque. It'll get you to 60 in about 6.7 seconds. It's not a slouch, but this is nothing to scoff at. But continuing on with this trend, we have one of my personal favorites, a Lexus IS 300. Now, I'm not an expert on JZ engines of any sort, but I absolutely love this car. It's between this and the SC300. It's like, first of all, you're getting rear-wheel drive, you're getting a beautiful car, beautiful interior. And unfortunately, it's harder to find manual versions of this car. I will admit that. It's very hard to find manual versions of this car. But it's still a compact car. It's reliable as all hell. It's reliable. It is the most reliable you could probably get on this list. And the potential is all over the place. You have a Touge motor. It might not be a TT, Touge, TT, GTE or anything like that. But you're still getting the Touge, and you can build those things to whatever you want to be. This car is not a gas saver either. It's also getting 16 city and around 23 highway. it'll swallow a little bit of gas up. But the engine makes 215 horsepower and 218 pound-feet of torque out of a naturally aspirated 3-liter engine. It'll get to 60 in about 7.5 seconds. It's not super fast, but that's easily, and you could easily fix that for intake, exhaust, and tune. I think with those three, you'll be, for naturally aspirated, you'll be well in the 250 horsepower range, and you'll be well under 6 seconds going to 60, because it doesn't take much for a car that light. But before I rant on about that car forever, let's go on to the next one. And this one is my buddy Lamar's car. We have a 2006 Mazda Speed 6. Yes, this one is the sleeper. 4-wheel drive, it's a 4-banger, and it's turboed. Can't get much better than that. Subi much? No, it's not a Subi, but you know what I mean. If you can't have a coupe, even if this is a car you have to get if you can't get a coupe. Basically, if you're tight in insurance and you can't afford coupes for that 2-door insurance, and you know, whatever that all-wheel drive is always going to be better than the rear-wheel drive when it comes to winter. This is a 4-wheel drive turbo sports car. It's basically a Subaru WRX. But if you can't afford the sticker price and insurance on those, get one of these. You'll fit in right with the flock. Nobody will notice you. You'll be the perfect sleeper. You know, a guy in his Camaro, if you don't know what you got, you know, that guy who just bought this Camaro thinking he's like legit, you can pull on him. You can. You have the power. This car, surprisingly for 2.3-liter turbo, has 274 horsepower and 280 foot-pounds of torque. And it goes to all 4 wheels. It gets 17 city and 23 highway, which isn't the best. And this car soars to 60 in about 5.7 seconds, which is really fast. It's plenty fast for you. This car has plenty of power. But this match will probably be sold as good as a WRX or Evo at its time. So it's about as good as those cars at its time. But without any further ado, the next one on our list, and I'm a little biased towards Japanese cars if you haven't noticed yet, is a 2005 Celica GTS. Here in America, we don't get the proclaimed all-wheel drive GT4 Celicas they use in Rallycross, but we do get these front-wheel drive that we have today, these front-wheel drive Celicas. And the GTS is the one you want. Don't get the GT. The GT has a Corolla engine in it, literally a 1ZZFE. I used to have that in my Corolla. And you can do a lot with them, but it's not something you want. You want the GTS. Oh, excuse me. It has a Yamaha 2ZZFE, which is way more horses, a lot powerful and a lot more faster to drive. The specs aren't anything to really look at. If you want a turbocharger, it'll give it a real car to kick it needs. But by itself, it makes 180 horsepower and 130 foot-pounds of torque to the front wheels. It's great on gas, okay? 21 city and 24 highway. Also, consider this car, this is a 1.8 liter. You know, it's great. It can do 60 in under 7 seconds. That's fast enough, right? That's all I got to say about it. Beautiful looking car, pretty much the most riced out you can get. And by far, my most favorite option, the least reliable on this list, but my most favorite option on this list, is a 2006 Mazda RX8. It's the first car I ever had a car boner for. I saw this car from my mom and I posted a video on YouTube, on my first YouTube channel, because I really wanted to get this car. It's not great on gas, that was about to be a lie, but it's great on insurance. Okay, it's also a 4-door, but it doesn't look like it. It's rear-wheel drive, but the best part about it, it's a 1.3 liter rotary engine. And insurers don't know what a rotary is, basically, so they think it's like a 1.3 liter Mirage or something like that, you know, Mitsubishi Mirage. And you know, it's as sexy as a 350Z, and it's not as reliable, but it has potential. Okay, this car engine is its masterpiece and its downfall, unfortunately. It has a range, oh gosh, I can't even speak. Its rev range is so good. Okay, it goes all the way up to 9 grand and some even 10, but stock 9 grand rev range. Okay, 232 horsepower and 159 foot-pounds of torque. To the rear wheels, okay? It gets terrible gas mileage. Even though it has 1.3 liters displacement. It got about 18 city and 24 highway. And that's if you're lucky. But anyway, it's the car you need to get. Honestly, I have to buy one. If my favorite car wasn't a 300ZX, I would be buying that car immediately. Matter of fact, I saw one yesterday. So, without any further ado, I hope you enjoy this little, put together 6 cars under $6 grand. I hope it helps somebody out, helps you in a good way. Hope it helps you find the car that you need for that price range. One of these is obviously the best. And like, comment, subscribe, and if you have a car that you want me to get a video on, let me know. Bye.